I really hate to do this, especially because this is my first video, but there are two things I want you to know before you watch this video. The first one being that throughout this video my appearance will change, and the second one that at the time when my reaction starts, the quality of the camera will be worse. That doesn't mean that the other parts of this video are unwatchable. As far as I know, they're still in HD, but the video is not on the same level of quality as it is now. Both of these issues will be resolved in the future. That won't be happening again, but I just wanted to let you know before you watch this video why certain things will change. So if you're interested in exactly why I had those two issues in this video and what is my channel about, the structure of my videos, then stick with me for now. But if you're here only for the reaction, just check the time that you'll be seeing now on the screen, or use the timestamps in the description box below, from which you can access any part of this video which you may desire to watch. So basically, I don't want to drag about this too much, but I still want to quickly explain. So the reason why my appearance will change through this video is that when I initially filmed my reaction, I didn't have enough time to do the whole review at that day. That's basically why I filmed my episode breakdown the day after I filmed my initial reaction. And the second time where you'll be seeing a different version of me is actually right now. Basically now you're seeing me from the future after I have already seen, I think, episode 3. And I was preparing the video to be uploaded today, so I was finishing the editing, all that stuff. And I just figured out that the original introduction was so bad that I just had to remake it. And the reason why that introduction was not usable is the fact that that whole introduction seemed like a montage of me butchering English words rather than being an introduction. What I'm trying to say is that I don't live alone in this apartment, so in other rooms live other people, and I was a bit nervous because I knew that the other people can hear me, that my neighbors can hear me, and I needed time to somehow get used to it, which I did towards the end of the introduction. But at first I was really a bit panicking and I just couldn't focus on myself. And if I'm not focused, then the result can be in me not speaking clearly, you know. I'm from Europe, so even now I think my accent is pretty evident. So I really wanted to make sure that you will understand me, so that's why I was redoing this introduction. And also I wanted to explain the whole thing with the camera quality. So I basically had to make a new video, and at the same time the initial introduction was bad, so why not just delete the initial introduction. But don't worry, the initial introduction was not interesting. I couldn't really make any interesting predictions, especially because I didn't know a lot about the show itself, other than by the words which one of my friends described it. He basically said that it's an apocalyptic world, but instead of zombies you have giants. But as I said, in the reaction and then discussion, my speaking got clearly better than in the introduction, so you don't have to worry about that. I think, or at least I hope, that those parts are still enjoyable. So now the second thing, which is the camera quality. I was setting up to start to watch episode 4. I found out that this camera has an option to make the quality better. So, and I did that. That's basically it. I didn't know it before. Okay, now that these two things are out of the way, I can finally introduce myself. You can call me Vikky. I'll be reacting to different shows, mostly anime. I'll be doing a show at a time and uploading once a day. So basically now I'll be watching Attack on Titan and uploading one episode per day. I've seen some reaction channels. I've seen some just recently because I just finished watching JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and I wanted to see other people's reactions, and I learned more about these types of channels, and I've seen that most of them upload one video per week for a show. So they're basically watching around 7 shows at the same time, and they have one day for one show in a week. But that just won't work for me as a person, because I really want to focus on a show in a shorter period of time, because I don't want to feel like I'm being a part of this journey, and also I think that if you're watching at a slower pace, then there's a higher possibility of you forgetting some key aspects of the story. This is just one of my personal preferences. I really enjoy watching a show at a really fast pace. But if you want me to watch multiple shows, then let me know. I will try to figure something out. But in the meanwhile, I will watch Attack on Titan at least 1 episode per day. So to wrap this introduction up, I will quickly explain the whole structure of each video. Each of my video will have multiple parts, starting with my pre-reaction thoughts, where I will just gather my previous thoughts which I had after finishing just the previous video. I will maybe highlight something that I just was thinking about recently, maybe some new ideas that I got about what might happen next. Then there will be my reaction, which will be a standard reaction. For now, I will keep it under 10 minutes. I just don't want to have any issues with copyright strikes. So after the reaction, I will have my post-reaction thoughts, my first thoughts that came to my mind after watching an episode. And always when you're watching some shows, you have some first thoughts in your mind, and that's exactly the part where I will be discussing exactly what is going through my head at that time. I will address the main thing that happened. For instance, if someone will die, you will probably want to watch the video mainly to see my reaction to that character dying. And let's be honest, you're probably today here just because of that reason. But you'll probably also want to hear me talk about that death, and I will address the highlights of an episode in my post-reaction thoughts. So if you don't have enough time to watch my whole discussion, but you want to hear me talk about the most important thing or things, then the post-reaction thoughts will be ideal for you. Moving on, then I will have a chronological episode breakdown, where I will just quickly go through the story. By that, I will address some things that happened through each episode. I will always try to make some theories, maybe some crazy ones, to keep things fresh. After that, I will be making predictions for the upcoming episode, and maybe just highlight some of my final thoughts, and I will wrap the whole video up with rating the episode. I will use a standard scale from 1 to 10, and I will give my arguments and reasons for why I gave a specific grade, specific episode. So that's basically it. I don't want to make this introduction too long, because the best part is just coming. I just wanted also to say that I had to cut my reaction to the opening, because, as I said, I have to keep the video under 10 minutes. And I basically thought that my reaction to the opening was not as much important as all of the other reactions. I really had a hard time to cut 60% or even more of this video down, and I basically just tried to keep the best highlights, and the reaction is not anything spectacular, because it's the first time me hearing a song, and I was not paying too much attention to the opening itself, because I know that in a lot of openings there are some spoilers. But let me know if you want to see my reaction to the opening. I can make a separate video just for that. Any feedback is highly appreciated. If you want me to watch different shows, if you want me to watch multiple shows, if you want me to use a green screen instead of this background, if the lighting is off, if the microphone is off, anything, just let me know and I'll try to make it better. So enjoy the rest of the video, and tune in tomorrow if you want to see my reaction to episode 2. Just So that's not the same creature there, right? Okay, the opening. Where they're singing German? That was sweet. To you, 2000 years later. Okay. So that first scene was a flashback then? Mikasa, okay. Does he have the same voice actor as Koichi from JoJo? So it said year 800 and something. Are we back in time? Or not? I don't know, let's see. Maybe this whole thing is set somewhere in the past. Aaron. Okay, a new character. So it seems 100 years. So they're running away from those creatures. And it seems like he's the only one who actually is aware of the danger. It seems like Hans really was touched by him. Yeah. Oh. He wants to join the guards. So what's that, like a return of the Rangers, something? They were outside. Okay, something's wrong. Whoa. Oh, some of them eaten. Those creatures. Oh. Is that his hand or something? Why was that necessary? Couldn't he have just told her? She seems weird. And he seems confused. Was her son a traitor or something? Wow. At least he's honest, man. At least you can respect that. It must be difficult to tell that to everyone. Wow. That works, I guess. Ah, so they don't know. Even they are against it. I mean, I agree with Aaron. And even his father understands him. Okay. Oh, that seems important. Yeah, they're showing this key so up close. It seems important. I love that she's just so chill all of the time. She has that cool look. She seems cool. Mikasa. Whoa, they're really respecting her. So she must be strong or something? So he also wants to leave. But I'm wondering, do they have any powers or something happened? Like, why are they as children so aware of the situation, while, I mean, maybe it doesn't matter really, we'll see. Yeah, they seem so depressed in a way, you know, it seems like they're thinking about this all the time. Oh, that doesn't... Oh boy. Oh. So that thing... That's the creature from the beginning, right? Yeah. Oh, they're titans. Shit. And what are those small creatures called? Oh. Oh, they're... Oh no. Their mother, right? Yeah. Shit. Oh, that... Oh. At least they seem slow, these creatures. Well... They look creepy. Titans. So they're all titans? She said the titans came in. Yeah, it's over. Oh, okay. Maybe it's not over yet. Oh, yeah, I thought he would want to... What? But what was wrong with that Titan? It seemed intelligent? Was it that? Because it was looking at him? Oh. She just knew where she was? Oh. That's... Wow. That's exactly what I was thinking. It gave me a feel of being unable to do anything. Wow. This definitely was an episode. It was good. It was really good. So as I said, I will start with my post-reaction thoughts, and I think that the last moment, the last sequence scene was brilliant. You aren't really attached to Eren's mother, because she does not have much screen time, nor does Eren, so nor does anybody, so we are not really attached to anyone, but still the feelings that I got at that scene were probably just the ones they wanted me to feel. Horror and being unable to do anything. I mean, the part when she said, "Don't go," that one line, it's just so simple, but it just changed the whole scene. It just gave you a feel that, of course she wants to live, but usually those who die for someone accept it and they're like, "I will sacrifice for you, go, I will do it." And it's sad and all, but here you just have that feeling of she's a human. She loves her children and she decided that they must go if they want to survive. But at the end of the day, she's human. She wants to live. And you just care for her so much more because we as viewers can really make attachments to characters which we can relate to. But the best characters are those who act like humans. And she did act like a human. And I know it's just a small thing, but it makes such a big difference for me. The whole scene of that Titan, where she looked so creepy. I mean, what's with those smiles? But I'm still confused. Because she said Titans stormed the city, but at the same time, they look so much different from the giant one, the one with no skin. I mean, the only thing that they have in common is, it seems, its size, so that's where I'm a bit confused. I mean, then if those, I don't know, I will call them sometimes titans, sometimes creatures, because it's confusing. So anyways, it's confusing a bit. But nonetheless, those creatures are so creepy. They are. Their movements and the fact that they eat humans, I think everything for an anime, it's an anime. So some people, not me, but some people do not take seriously if something is animated. They're not so scared, shocked or anything. But I think that their design will creep out everyone. The whole last sequence is just going through my head because it's what got me invested in the story. I mean, I liked it before, it was an interesting concept there behind the wall, but this just kickstarted everything now. I still don't know the exact chronological order of events that happened, because the title was 2000 years later or something, and it said year 800 or something, and I thought that this might be a and it still might be a flashback, and maybe we'll have now a sort of time jump and Eren is now an adult. Anime, sometimes the look doesn't describe who you are, but Eren is a child. He seems like what? 12? 10? I don't know, he seems really young and it seems like he's the protagonist. Maybe we'll grow with him through the season's episodes and at the end he will be the main guy, and maybe for now we'll follow Hannes for the go-to guy when it's time to fight. Maybe it's not even an action-based anime. Maybe they'll just run and I'm for it. I mean, it seems like they want to give you that feeling of being caged, and they really do. So, setting or outfit might change now because I have no time left. I must go somewhere. I will continue filming when I'm back or tomorrow, it doesn't matter, just to be aware of why maybe something might change. You can see time has passed in between my reaction and this part which I'm filming right now, and I hope that I don't forget anything. I'll try to go through everything as it happened. I have not yet edited my reaction because if I did, I would probably gain more information, which I didn't want to because that would seem like cheating in a way. So if we go through, it first all started with the sequence, which actually happened at the end, where that giant skinless creature appeared, called Titan, which we found out. Just like I said, for now I will call the small creatures small titans, the bigger one big titans. Please correct me, or just titans, I don't know. I will call them big giant titans, if that makes sense. It sounds weird. But anyways, if I'm making mistakes, please correct me in the comment section. Just don't post spoilers. Or just don't type anything if I'm not allowed to know the real name of these creatures. But for now, because Eren's mom said that the Titans, and I'm pretty sure that someone else also mentioned it, that the Titans stormed the city. Maybe we were just not seeing other skinless creatures. I don't know. So, so it starts with that. I was pretty confused at that time. So I won't really comment on that sequence now because it reappears and I will talk when we get to that point. After that, we had a sequence, if I'm not wrong, where some of the humans were riding horses using some sort of technology, and they were trying to attack one of those creatures. Also, maybe after I thought about it, it seems as, I'm not sure, but maybe those were those who actually then appeared in the village, those rangers who returned. But I'm not sure, maybe it's a scene which will be addressed in the future, but also I cannot really comment on that scene because there's little to none information about what that actually meant, because as soon as the fight began, we cut to the opening. We then follow Eren and Mikasa as they were walking towards their home. During that, we really explore mostly, in a sense, their relationship. She tries to control him, not in a bad way. I mean, she's just looking after him, and at the same time, she seems to think with a cooler head. And then Eren, he seems like a hothead, a hot-blooded guy who quickly gets angry. And during that, we also see our first encounter with security. So I think they used a certain name, and I'm really sorry. You're probably really angry at me because I'm not using it, but I really cannot remember what they said to them. So for now, I will be calling them guards or soldiers, but I will try to remember the name in the next episode, I promise. So there we met Hannes, and we really have seen how Eren views this group of guards. In a way, he actually likes them. He respects them, probably mostly the idea behind them, but he still is criticizing them, you know? Just like if you watch any sports, you'll know that there are coaches, and there always is that coach-player relationship where a player might be a superstar and he really thinks he can do anything, and at the same time he can make so many stupid things, you know? Like in basketball, maybe a guy can be one of the greatest passer of all time, but he still turns the ball away too much, and the coach probably loves him, but if he wants him to be better, he has to import discipline. And it seems like Eren, for his age, seems that kind of guy who respects the whole group, but he just wants them to be better. And even though their reputation seems bad, and it even took a turn for the worse in this episode, he still wanted to join them. He still respected them. But he was not shy of criticizing them, which I respect. So there also was that disturbing scene where old lady was looking for her son. I can't remember his name right now, but I know she was searching for him. And one of the soldiers, it seems like one of their leaders, just gave her the limb of her dead son, which really angered me because I mean not to see the limb, but just to think about that, you know, your family member died and someone just comes up to you, you ask him where he is, and he doesn't even tell her anything, you know. Even if he was angry and said something like, yeah, he's dead, deal with it, it would seem disrespectful towards her, but just to give her his arm, like, here you go, his arm, he's dead, if you can't tell. I mean, it's... Yeah, she hugged that arm, I know, but imagine that happening to you. It could drive you crazy. Literally, that, you know, when you're down and then a moment of horror happens to you, it can break you. It can break you, and in a sort of way, it did that to her because she seemed crazy after that. And he was then forced to admit that they failed. They were trying to fight those creatures. I think they were trying to get more information because he said, we know nothing more about them. So it's pretty interesting that, if I'm not mistaken, Hannes said that there was peace for 100 years, and clearly the walls are an indicator that this has been a war that's been fought for a longer period of time. So it's really interesting that they're still trying to figure out things about them even after 100 years. Maybe because they were not venturing outside before, or maybe it's just me overthinking. But then we meet Eren's and Mikasa's family, their mother and father, and Mikasa just straight up tells everyone, their parents, that he wants to join the soldiers, and it was really a nice scene. We didn't have a lot of time with their parents, but we just seen that even though his father doesn't seem as an adventurer, well, he chose a profession as a doctor, he still respected his son's fighting spirit. So much even that he showed him the keys of his basement, which seemed as a secret before. And my theory here is that he as a doctor maybe knows some stuff about titans, probably has a poison or a formula on how to poison these creatures, or maybe a other version of a weapon. But because he's a doctor, he would probably know more stuff about the biological structure of a being, and maybe he has a poison which can kill them, and maybe he did not share that with the others because maybe it's not finished, or maybe there is something that's holding him back from doing that. There has to be something important in that basement, and it has to have a connection with Titans. It really has, because it would just seem stupid to show that key up close and then to just show him what? A sword? I mean, yeah, maybe it will not matter, but I think it has to be something epic connected with Titans, something that Eren will be able to use. But I can also see it happening that maybe there's nothing special there, just to teach Eren a lesson that there is no secret weapon that can be used against those creatures. The only thing they can do is run. Then we met Armin. We don't really know him that much. The only characteristics that I can think of is he also was depressed and wanted to go out, and I still have that scene in my head where when Eren and Mikasa ran to their mom, he was holding his hand like he was telling himself, don't go. It just seems like he doesn't want to get involved into fights that much. And even when he was being bullied, he was just using his words, and he was really clever with them. and he didn't want to fight. He didn't want to fight back, but he still wanted to stand up himself. So maybe there's a character development going around him becoming a fighter, or maybe just accepting that he needs help. We'll see what happens with him. Then of course the whole thing happened. There was a lightning. So my guess is that the lightning, it has something to do with that skinless creature to be so big. Because just think about it. For 100 years they have known for these creatures. So now there's a creature taller than the wall. If they knew for him, they would make a taller wall. So, but they still knew he's a titan. So how would they know that he's a titan? And say maybe he is a titan and the smaller are not titans, that I'm still not sure about. But then if you know about titans being so large, why is the wall so short? You know? So I'm guessing the lightning has something to do with his size. Probably. Moving on, we had the scene where these creatures were just storming the city, killing everyone, eating everyone. Which still... I can see how this show will use that in probably many different ways to just creep the hell out of me. I mean, it's their... You know, it's the combination of their looks and their behavior that makes them creepy. I think we are really afraid of the human image, especially if it doesn't follow the perfect proportions like they do. They look giant, they have barrel bodies, they seem naked, they smile all the time, which is a weird characteristic. A human body can express so many things, and they do express so many things of horror. It's just creepy to think. And then because a human image represents intelligence, and seeing a giant human who wants to eat you just creeps you out. They said that at the end you feel caged like a bird. That's exactly what you feel, because they seem like humans. They don't seem as intelligent, but they act in some way. They move like humans. It gives you that feel that a human wants to eat you. It gives you that feel that you're just an animal waiting to be eaten. And that is terrifying. It's just terrifying. This whole combination of elements of horror, and really just gives you the exact same feeling that they wanted you to feel. They really succeeded in making you feel caged during that whole sequence. So after that, there was the whole big thing with which I already addressed after the reaction, with their mother dying. And as I said, even though I don't feel any attachments towards her, I mean now I do, but I haven't. I still think that, you don't feel attachments towards her because there's so little time you spend with her. You don't even know her personality. She seems sweet and caring, but it's not enough screen time to really make you care about her. But with the whole execution of that scene, they do make you care about her, which is brilliant. And so the main thing there was, of course, the music, the shots, everything, Eren's voice, who was desperate. The show really seems to focus mostly on Eren. I don't recall seeing Mikasa's face when their mother died. So that's a thing, maybe just because he's the protagonist and her personality is being a cool head, maybe it was not worth seeing, or maybe I just forgot, but I think only Eren was the one who was screaming. But yeah, they really made a great job with that whole scene. It was basically the highlight of the scene. It had many smaller plots, like already Hannes was searching redemption. As I thought, he was already touched at the beginning, but at that point we've seen that Titan, who looks as a woman. I'm still not sure if they also have genders. They seem naked, but I don't remember anything else than faces showing any signs of having different genders, but her face definitely looked like a woman, definitely. The whole hairstyle, and it even seemed like she wore a lipstick. That sounds crazy probably, but I think she looked creepy, okay? That's the point. And the way she looked at Hannes, it was really something's gotta be different about that Titan, because how in the world did he go from I'm going to slay that thing to get me out of here in 5 seconds? Like literally. He even wanted redemption, he wanted to save her, their mother, and he didn't seem to be scared, he was not panicking, so it seems like he knows how to fight. So what was wrong? Like seriously, did they become more intelligent, as I previously thought? That's probably the thing, you know. Maybe that's the reason why she just knew where their mother was, because she's smart. Now that I think about it, it's probably the only possible reason, that she's just way smarter than everyone else. But that begs the question, does she move faster because of that? Because it seems like their weakness, and you know, any enemies need weaknesses, is that they are slow. They seem slow, which is fitting because they're tall. But at the same time, if you're tall and intelligent, maybe at least she could try to run. Maybe she doesn't care, but it just seemed like they ran away for now. Maybe we will see a chase in the next episode. Maybe she will chase them. Maybe all of them are intelligent, they just don't care about running, or they can't run. But maybe the lightning was connected to her, because yeah, I don't think I've seen any other creature be seen as a woman. So maybe the lightning was not with the skinned Titan, but with her, it's connected with her. So I think that's it for the episode breakdown. Maybe it's because time passed, I don't remember anything besides that. I will try to make these discussions as long as possible, but if I won't be having anything relevant to talk, I just don't see a reason why to just make this videos longer for no reason at all. So I will now jump straight into my predictions and final thoughts. So my predictions for the upcoming episode. It seemed like that village was surrounded by walls. So now that their titans are in, what does that mean? They probably have escape tunnels or something, but because they said that they're now caged like birds, maybe that's the motive, you know? You're not just running away, you have to hide. Now your greatest weapon, which was the wall, is your greatest enemy, because it will be much harder to escape than in an open field. And maybe because they're smart, those creatures will just guard the entrances. You know, you being them being the hunter and you being the prey, which the opening did. In the opening they were saying German, and they said, I think it said, Sie sind das Essen und wir sind die Jäger, which means they are the food and we are the hunters. I remember that because I obviously speak German. So it seems like really that's the motive through this show, that they are actually being the food for these creatures and they are hunting them. So I don't know from where does that German thing come from. Why were they saying German? Well, maybe the creator of this liked Germany, you know, just like when I was watching JoJo, of course I was going deep into the fan base, and I got a piece of information that Hirohiko Araki was actually is quite fond of European culture, especially Italian, and it's seen through the whole show of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And maybe here we will have a show which will draw inspirations from German culture, which will be great for me because I'm European, and maybe I will see some little things, some little Easter eggs which I maybe wouldn't if I wouldn't be a European. But regardless of that, I think that in the next episode we'll see them running away from the Titans. We'll see them hiding, thinking about they'll probably go. So now that I think of it, Eren's father went somewhere and he was not seen in any sequence later. So that mean that, I don't know, I think he said where he was going, but I don't remember exactly where. Is that city so vast that, because it seems like Eren and Mikasa were not worried about their father at all, so he must be somewhere at the other corner of that village. Or maybe he went outside the walls. But it seems like they will probably try to find their father in the upcoming episodes, because even if he went outside, he couldn't be far away, because I think it was really fast after he went that the Titans came. So yeah, that's probably what I think will happen. I think that Hannes will now be a father figure to them. We might be watching 2 stories with Armin and Hannes Eren, because it seems like they're now separated, or maybe they will try to find themselves in these episodes, in the upcoming episode. And I'm really looking forward to it. Now, to wrap things up, I will grade this whole episode. And now that the time passed, I thought about it. I had nightmares because of their smiles. And I really think it's a 9 out of 10. I know it's the first episode, and it's really hard for a first episode to kick things off, but there's one objective that the first episode has to do, and it has to get you excited about it. You have to be invested in the show, and it did. I'm really, really interested, and I'm so glad that now I have some free time. I can watch multiple episodes. You know, my main argument for this episode was also the whole last final sequence. They make you feel bad for a character who you don't really know, who just seems like just a plot device, for making Eren and Mikasa different characters. And but it doesn't seem like that. Just like I said in my post-reaction thought, the part where she said that don't go, and really, really got me, and she felt human. And I can't stress enough how well they make you feel as a human, and all the characters in that scene, and giving you the feel of being caged, but they do. And I haven't thought it's a perfect episode because I was confused about the whole timing, where we are at some time. And I don't want to start with a 10 out of 10 because I can't give you more than 10. 10 is a perfect episode. And I really think 9 is really fitting because it wasn't just good, it was great. It wasn't perfect, which is a 10 out of 10 for me. And usually 10 out of 10s come later when you're really connected to certain characters. But for a first episode, being a 9 out of 10, and it ticks all the boxes it has to as a first episode, the main ones, certainly. I think 9 out of 10 is a pretty reasonable score to give it. And we'll see. Maybe the next episodes will drop off a bit. Maybe they will be worse. Maybe they will be better. And if there's a show, and if each episode from now on will have 10 out of 10s, I'm for it, because I don't care about being too high or too low in scores. I will just score just how I feel. And there's certainly a reason for this show to be successful. Just think about it. Why is it so popular? Well, probably because it's quality. Probably. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing, liking, and if you have not, please leave feedback to why not, so I can make sure that these things will be addressed in the future videos, and I will try to make things better. Regardless, hope you have a nice day. See you tomorrow when I'll be watching episode 2. My name is Vikky, and goodbye.